back with another tier list. I'm alone today. I'm going to be alone for the next 4 because Brian is salty that we're using pictures and not texts because he thought that would be a good idea. But obviously it's not. I mean, come on. The pictures are so much better. Anyway, doing another tier list, as I said. MLB stadiums. So we did MLB logos and NHL logos, NFL, NBA, all that. Now we're going to do stadiums. And yeah, we got the normal tiers. See, I had to put the last 3 down here to fit them in. So I'm actually going to end up deleting this real quick. Just go and delete that. There we go. Cut that out. Or don't. Okay. Delete. Okay. We'll get that figured out in a minute. But we're just gonna be rating them. I use field shots for all the MLB stadiums up to modern date. Of course, our normal tiers. They're organized from top down to here, from this one to here, alphabetically by team. Starting with the Baltimore Orioles, ending with the Washington Nationals. But I'm going to start with these 3 on the bottom so that I can get the tier list to go all the way down here for space reasons. But all the stadiums are on here with field pictures. So yeah, without further ado, let's get down to it. So we're going to start at the bottom with the reigning World Series champion Washington Nationals Park, one of the newer parks in the MLB. Pretty fond with this stadium, really do kind of enjoy it. So I'm going to put it in the A tier because I think it is part of a brand new district thing that they're working on there in DC, with the nice district area along with the other fun stuff by the water and stuff. So it's a nice fit, very cool atmosphere, especially now with the World Series, and of course that annoying baby shark thing that kind of is annoying, but you know, whatever, it's fine. Just a very nice place to go, very modernistic area, very, very appealing to me. Toronto Blue Jays, their actual stadium, not the stadium they're in Buffalo right now, but their permanent home when there's not a pandemic going on, which is Rogers Center. I've seen this place in person, never been inside of it though. I'm gonna give this one probably so I can give this one a little bit more of an in-depth ranking as far as the outside area goes. I can't talk about the inside though. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna go maybe a B tier, could be probably a C tier. It has one of the best playoff environments I've ever heard, going back to when they were actually good, more in the mid-2010s, but they do have one of the great playoff environments that I'm happy about. And then I like the retractable roof. They got a hotel actually inside the stadium, which is really cool. And just a bunch of other fun stuff. But it is the surrounding area. I mean, there's no parking right there. I mean, there is some, but it's not for everybody. So that kind of sucks, but it's really not horrible. You can walk there pretty easily, and it's a nice little metro area. You got the CN Tower looking over the stadium and stuff, so it's cool when when it's open for a game in the daytime. So not a bad stadium by any means. It is a little older. That takes it down a little bit. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. Moving on to Busch Stadium. Busch Stadium 4, as Cardinals fans like to call it, home of the St. Louis Cardinals. Never seen this one in person before. It is hosted a lot of great games though. And I've seen a video tour of it, so I get a little bit more of an amenity. I'm probably gonna give this one maybe, I want to say A or B again. Probably B for this one. I mean, it's got a great view of the skyline of St. Louis. It's got a lot of fun amenities. Not a lot of nice seating areas for it, and I think that's really cool. I think that's something every stadium really needs, is some nice areas to sit and relax, and gets good views of the skylines, and so that's pretty nice. However, I just think the stadium's kind of unnecessary. There's been 4 Busch stadiums now. This one opened in 2006. I think it's going to stick around. The only reason they didn't have the other one is because of the renovations from these fully circle seating things to more open things like this. And I think that's a good move on their part. I really think it is. So happy with it. but it's not top tier in my opinion. So yeah, one that is top tier is our next one. We're going to go from the top down now to finish, because I was able to reformat that. We're doing Camden Yards, home of the Baltimore Orioles. This one's going to get an S tier ranking. It is widely considered one of the most beautiful ballparks in the MLB, if not the most beautiful one. Even though the on-field product has been kind of shit since 2014, maybe 2016. It has one of the most beautiful views ever. The warehouse and just everything else. It's an awe-inspiring sight to take in. It's one of my top stadiums I want to go see a game at. Walking down Utah Street and everything. It's such a fun place. It'd be such a fun place to go. That's why it's going to get an S tier ranking. An A tier ranking is going to be our next one up. This is Chase Field, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The only complaint I have about this one is its size. Specifically, its field dimensions. I think the field dimensions are way too large. It's nearly impossible to hit a home run very far out. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's pretty impossible. It's not a home. It's not a pitcher friendly park, but it's not a hitters friendly park either. But it's a really nice stadium. It's got a pool in right field. It's on my bucket list to go see a game in that pool. It's retractable. It's got lots of other cool amenities with cars and stuff, and it's lots of fan interactions, and it's really fun. It seems like a really fun place to go see a ball game, especially maybe a night game, because it's Arizona. It is retractable as well, and it's hosted a World Series, and people seem to be very enthused with the park, and it's very fun place to be. So I would love to go see a game there. But the only reason it does not get an S tier ranking, gets an A tier ranking instead, is because of its field dimensions. I think they are just way too high for it to be really a evenly fair pitcher to player park. But that's not a major complaint, and that's why it's going to get an S tier ranking. Fenway Park, the oldest, or it's one of the oldest, second oldest MLB stadium currently. We're going to get to the oldest one here soon. Home of the Boston Red Sox. This one's also going to get an A tier ranking. Actually, no, it's going to get an S tier. S tier. We're going S tier. It is a great place to go. Brian has been there before. Never mind that. It's so many iconic things, the nice triangle thing on the right, the green monster, the age of the park, and it's just got a great atmosphere to it. The on-field product's not that great right now, but could be. It has been good. It's been good for a while. And it's just, very classic mixed with modern place to go see a ball game. I think you need that when you're thinking of stuff. So, Brian has been there, though. I wish he was here to maybe give his opinion on some of these. He was, again, supposed to be here, but he didn't want to use pictures. He wanted to use text boxes. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Because pictures, I think, especially with stadiums and structures and stuff, you need more visual representation. And text boxes don't give that, especially for people that don't know what some of these stadiums look like. So a small picture is better than no picture, in my opinion. Moving on now to another newer ballpark. This is Braves Stadium, Suntrust Park. It opened in 2017. This one's also going to get an A tier ranking, in my opinion. Mostly because it is a really nice stadium inside the stadium's also a very nice stadium outside the stadium. It's got this whole interactive district area with fun games and restaurants and stores and everything. They really went all in with this stadium, and I think it paid off. It's not seen a lot of success. It did see a 2018 and 2019 playoff run, both of which were cut short in the NLDS, but Atlanta is one of the best baseball cities in America, in my opinion. The Braves are a very storied franchise, a very iconic franchise, especially for Atlanta. And I think this new stadium to house their team is definitely a welcome sight, in my opinion. So we're going to Chicago now. This is another stadium that I have seen from the outside, but I've never been into. This is the Chicago White Sox Stadium. And this one's going to get a C tier ranking. This might be a little bit controversial, but I don't know. There's two reasons why. One, it's a little bit older. Two, it's not in a great area of Chicago. I drove by it and I was expecting it to be some sort of, nice little district area, kind of like, some of these other stadiums. Not too much, but enough where it's like, yeah, I mean, it's all right. But it's like in this like rundown neighborhood sort of place, and it just doesn't fit. And I think it kind of discreets people from coming to the game when they put their lives in danger, or they don't think it's a very nice area. It's not visually appealing. And that brings down the quality of it. It also hasn't seen great on-field product, but it is a pretty homer-friendly ballpark, in my opinion. And also, it faces away from the Chicago skyline, which is a big no-no. Brian would go on and on and on for hours about that if he was here, but he's not. That's why it's going to get the C tier ranking, though. Raley Field, the oldest MLB stadium, just a few years older than Fenway, is going to get an A tier ranking, in my opinion. Home of the Chicago Cubs. They got some nice iconic ivory in the back. They got the baskets for the home runs. And it just has this nice old-timey feel to it. Didn't even get lights until 1988, which was crazy to think about. It's been home to a lot of failures. It did see the World Series in 2016, but it's seen a lot of failures. Trying to get to the World Series between 1945 and now. We got there though, and here we are. And I don't know. I mean, it's a nice iconic place to take to the ballpark. Grandpas can show their children what it was like when they were there, and they can still experience it, because really, with like same thing with Fenway, they haven't really changed much about the stadium since it first opened. So it still gives that old-timey feel, but people can still have a nice, fun experience there. And Wrigley's also in a better area of Chicago, which gives it a lot more outside appeal as well. People feel more pleased to go there, better environment, that sort of thing. Great American Ballpark, home of the Cincinnati Reds, is up next. This one's going to get a B tier ranking. I think it does have a nice view. It's right next to the Ohio River. It's got a lot of fun things to it, but it's just an average ballpark, in my opinion. It's nothing too spectacular, nothing too great, but it is something all right. I mean, it's not a horrible stadium by any means. So that's why it's going to get a B tier ranking for that reason. All right, moving on. This is Progressive Field next, home of the Cleveland Indians. I was going to go see a game here back in 2018, but we changed it to a different trip that we took. And I'm going to also give this one a B tier ranking. That's a little bit of bias against the Indians. I hate the Indians. But overall, it is still a pretty nice ballpark. I think the left field wall's a little high, in my opinion. Makes it a little harder to hit home runs, but I mean, it can be done. It's nothing like completely impossible. One of my favorite things they do is when they score a run, they do like the 1-up thing from Mario. That's from Mario. That's really fun. And overall, it's in a nice little sports district in downtown Cleveland with the Brown Stadium and the arena for the Cavaliers. So it fits right in there. It's pretty new still, and it's pretty nice, but just average and more bias towards the Indians, against the Indians, not towards the Indians, against the Indians. And yeah, there you go. Detroit Tigers Stadium, Comerica Park, moving up next. We're going to move this one also into the B tier, and for the same reason as the Diamondbacks Stadium is not an S tier. And that's because of its field dimensions. Comerica Park has one of the largest field dimensions in the entire MLB, and even when it opened back in 2000, it was heavily criticized for being a non-friendly ballpark for hitters, and people that had high batting averages when they came to the Tigers lost their batting average significantly, and they blamed that on the fact that the park is too big. Honestly, it is pretty large, and I think that robs, especially the Tigers, a lot of home runs. and you really have to smoke it to really get a good hit on it. It's not a very hitters-friendly ballpark. At the beginning of this season, actually, it was a pretty hitters-friendly ballpark, but it has averaged out since. However, it is a really nice stadium. It's the only one that I've actually been to. I've been there multiple times. We've already done a review on it. It's already up on the channel. You can go watch it if you'd like. It is super cool stadium. It's right in that downtown district. It's got a nice feel to it. Modern field. A lot of great atmosphere for the stadium. Lots of cool amenities with cars and Chevrolet. They got the nice tigers on the scoreboard. And it's a great place to go see a ball game. But for playing there, it's not as great, but it's definitely far from the worst. That's why it's going to get a B tier ranking for that. Another S tier. This might be a little bit controversial, but this is Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. You would think the smallest ballpark, which we haven't gotten to yet, would be the one that has the most home runs. Actually, no. It's actually Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Why? Because the high altitude makes it a lot easier to hit balls farther. But other than that, it's got lots of cool beer stuff with Coors, and of course, there's a little woods. I can't really see, it's like over there somewhere where I'm pointing the cursor, but there's like little wooded tree section. In 2007, it was 2007, they modified it they added humidifiers to try and decrease the home run amount. It didn't really work that much, but it worked enough, I guess. So there you go. I mean, it's you can still hit more home runs there. It's a great hitters-friendly ballpark. Good place to see a game. It's another one of the top stadiums that I want to go see when eventually I do go out and see more games. But that's why it's going to get S tier. Minutemade Park. This is going to be very controversial. It's going to get a D tier ranking. This is not because of the fact. This is going to be just a little bit of somberness towards the fact of the Astros cheating scandal. Does it have anything to do with this? No, it doesn't. It's still a pretty nice stadium. A lot of retractable. It's newer. It's got a lot of cool amenities with the trains, and well, it had a hill. It doesn't have a hill anymore, but it's just the cheating scandal and the bang bangs and the hitting the garbage cans for home runs and stuff. It just really puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth from their World Series in 2017 and 2019. And yeah, that's, I mean, come on. It just puts a bitter taste in your mouth. But overall, when you look away from that, it's a pretty nice ballpark. It is one that I want to go see one time. Just puts a bad taste in my mouth. That's why it's going to get a D tier ranking, though. It does get picked up a little bit by it being a nice stadium. However, this is Dodger Stadium up next, is it? It is Dodger Stadium. Is it? Hold on. It is. This is Dodger Stadium. And fun fact, it has been a really long time since this stadium has seen a rain out. Because it never rains in LA. I'm like, no shit. Of course it doesn't rain in LA. Oh God. Oh God. Well, there's Brian's stupid text boxes if you want to see them. But anyway, I wanted to try and zoom in. I guess it's not going to let me zoom in. But yeah, that's Dodger Stadium. Seen a lot of success with lots of great Dodger teams. But honestly, the stadium has not changed that well. Has not changed. It doesn't need to be changed. It has great scenery. It's a great environment for a game. But honestly, the traffic is pretty hell out in Los Angeles, not gonna lie. So that's why probably it's gonna get a little bit less for a ranking. I'm actually gonna move it down to the C tier for that reason, because parking, getting out there, just causes a lot of pollution, lots of traffic. It's not great. So that's why it's gonna get a C tier. But I mean, cool fact is never had a rain out since like the 80s or something. So ever want to go see a game and don't want to be guaranteed don't want to have a chance of rain up, your best option is probably going to Dodger Stadium, but probably not right now because of the pollution from those cars. Okay. Moving on now, we are moving on to another stadium that I've seen in person, walked around, but I've never actually been inside of. It is Royal Stadium. And this one's going to get an A tier ranking. It is an older stadium, actually, believe it or not, but it did undergo a massive renovation not too long ago, and it did wonders to the place. It is absolutely beautiful stadium, especially when they were good in like 2014 and 15. It was a fun place to be, and it's still a fun place to go now with the nice fountains, the scoreboard, of course, some great Kansas City barbecue and everything, and it's beautiful. And it's in a great place as well. It's in this nice district along with Chiefs Stadium, Arrowhead. Lots of great parking. The only problem is it is impossible to walk there unless you want to walk for like the entire day just to get there for a night game or something, but it is nearly impossible to finally walk there. You got to drive yourself. You got to get some sort of transportation because it is pretty far out from the rest of Kansas City. You can see Kansas City, but it's not ideal. Really, it's nearly impossible. So, yeah. Miami Marlins Stadium. Yeah, this one's going to get a D tier ranking as well. The stadium was heavily criticized back in 2012 when it was constructed and opened because people thought it was just unnecessary. I mean, it's a weird stadium that a weird home run trophy out in left center. People just did not show up to the games. Honestly, it's in a great climate. It's a nice retractable, but they have weird rules when it comes to batting practice where you can't sit to catch home runs. It's pretty weird. Zach Hampel talked about that in one of his videos. Yeah, it's just an awkward, weird stadium situation. Fitting that it's the Marlins. So, I guess there you go. All right, moving on. This is Angels Ballpark. The shortest dimensions in Anaheim, California. This one's going to be getting that B tier ranking that Dodgers Stadium originally had. Why, you say? Well, it's another one that I really want to go to, especially since it's underwent some massive renovations with some cool amenities in and around the stadium, with some fountains with those rocks out in the left center. It has the smallest dimensions, so it has one of the best chances for home runs. It's got great parking, great place area to go, and I think it's just be a pretty fun place to go play. Plus, you can see Mike Trout, so there you go. Sucks the Angels haven't really done much since their World Series in 2002, but what are you gonna do? I mean, come on. Moving on, Brewers Ballpark. This one's gonna get an A tier. Pretty simple reason why. It's large too, but it's very cool looking. It's very, very appeasing to look at. With their rising success, nearly making the World Series in 2018, and all their other great stuff, it's a good place to see a game. Of course, Brewers, you're gonna get some good beer, and it's got a lot of fun traditions with a nice slide for the mascot, on home run, and everything else. So, fun place. Up next, that is Target Field, home of the Minnesota Twins, and guess what that's getting? That's getting an S tier ranking, ladies and gentlemen. Another one that is widely considered one of the top ballparks in the MLB. I have seen this one in the car, but I've never gotten out and actually looked at it. It is in a pretty crowded area in downtown Minneapolis, so I wasn't able to go see it. But it's widely considered one of the most beautiful ballparks in the MLB. And I could totally see why. It's got lots. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's got a great view. Who can go wrong without seeing a game here? Even though I'm not a huge fan of the Twins, I do love their ballpark. So, this is Met Stadium, panorama shot. So it wasn't the best picture to get, but so it's a little hard to see. I'm gonna enlarge it here. Just a second. There we go. That's Met Stadium, home of the New York Mets. I'm going to give it a B tier. It's an average ballpark again. It's got some cool amenities, I guess, but it's a little more modern looking. It's pretty big, but it is the Mets, and so they're not going to have the largest crowds except for their playoff run in 2015. But is it the worst? No. Again, just another average ballpark. So moving on. Yankee Stadium sadly is going to be getting a C tier ranking. Oh yeah. This is going to be a controversial one. Yankees fans, how's it feel that the Tigers of all teams made the World Series more recently than you guys? Anyway, not that I'm against the Yankees. It's just the stadium was kind of unnecessary. Many people didn't like the new stadium. One, because it's stupidly expensive to go see a game there, and to get food, and to get tickets, to get food, to park, to do everything. It's stupidly expensive. It is very technologically advanced, and it's a very beautiful stadium, but and I think many people just think it's just unnecessary, and many Yankees fans, I bet, would agree with me on that part. Is it the worst place to go see a game? No, it's not. But it's not the best place either. But it's not the worst by far. Yeah, that's what I'm pretty much saying. Philadelphia Phillies are next in their stadium, and they're going to be getting a B tier one as well. Another average ballpark. Does have a great view of the Philadelphia skyline, and yeah, it's got a great atmosphere. Philadelphia, of course, it's Philadelphia, so I mean, you can get both ends of you probably can get both ends of the spectrum there with the Philadelphia Phillies, but just a lot of cool stuff there. They got a nice Liberty Bell and everything. Oh, Cincinnati Reds also do have like a boat, shoots out fire and stuff too. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, there you go. So the first of two F-tier stadiums coming up now. This is the Oakland A's stadium. The Raiders have just recently moved out of this stadium, and for good reason. It's got sewage issues. It has stupidly large outfield, stupidly large foul territory. The top row isn't even a seating location, but so why is it even there? It's unnecessary. Maybe it's just a baseball only stadium will help, but it's the last of its kind. It's not doing well. It needs to be torn down or just vacated and never to be heard from again. The A's need to get out of there now. No more really need to be said about that one. Let's move on. What do we got up next? Oh, this is going to be a good one. What is this sucker? Hello, this is Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates. PNC Park. So this one's going to be another average ballpark here. We're just going to get a B tier ranking. Again, it does have a great view of the Pittsburgh skyline. It's got the river right next to it. But again, it's just an average ballpark, kind of a factory of sadness. Pittsburgh hasn't really done that well over the years. They've had some good years, but not really recently. But there you go. So, kind of speed running these right now, trying to get them over with, but also trying to get a little more in depth. So this is T-Mobile Park next. I've seen this one from the outside as well, home of the Seattle Mariners. I'm gonna go a little biased and give this one an A tier ranking because it does have a nice outside district area as well as and a good inside district area. It's pretty unique being in the Pacific Northwest, so you got lots of cool more unique food options. You also got a nice outside area to go walking around, like statues, cool signs and everything. And it's a pretty fun place to go. I want to go see a game there one time. It's got a nice store that you can even go and shop in when you're not going to a game. So I love it. It's fun. Have a great time. Yay. Moving on to this is Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres. Oh, this is gonna be probably another B tier. Yet another average park. Good climate. And it's got that nice warehouse in the left field corner. But again, just another pretty average ballpark, in my opinion. Nothing too spectacular, but it's nothing horrible either. That's pretty much what the criteria is with these average ballparks. Nothing too great, but it's nothing too horrible either. So it's kind of where I'm trying to go with that. All right, quickly, let's just get Rays Stadium out of there. What do I have to really say about this if people don't already know about it? It's indoor with the catwalk in fair play. Does mean you don't get a rain out there, but you can't really hit home runs as far as you probably could. And they need to get out of there bad. Really, they really do. I mean, they got a Ray tank That's pretty cool, I guess. No, it's not. It's not that good. It's horrible, actually. But whatever. San Francisco Giants Stadium up next. This one's going to probably get an A tier for me. And why, I say? Well, it's got a great view of the water. It's got a really cool glove with Coca-Cola bottle out in left. And it's just a nice place to go see a ball game. The temperature is usually not too warm, but not too cold either. Pretty average temperatures, so it's not the best place to go see a game, but you do get the nice walk on the boardwalk itself. It's one of the places where you can get in a canoe and go out and try and snatch home run balls or foul balls or whatever from the water. And honestly, it's one of the parks that I really want to go to. So that's why that's going there. And the final park is the newest ballpark, Globe Life. Is it Park or Field? I think it's Globe Life Field now, home of the Texas Rangers. That one's going to get an S tier, mainly because it's a nice... I will say it's unnecessary. I will say that. It's unnecessary. They didn't need to leave Globe Life Field. Was it Globe Life Park or Field? I'm going to say it's Park. The old one was Globe Life Park. The new one's Globe Life Field. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. That's what I'm going to say it is for right now. But anyway... It is a nice, beautiful, technologically advanced stadium. It's got a nice tractable roof, nice district, complex area that they're still kind of working on. But I don't know. Again, I mean, they're hosting the World Series this year, so maybe after that can get a little bit more in-depth review of it. But yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. MLB tier list done. So let's review what we got. 5 in the S tier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8A tier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 MLB stadiums in the B tier. 3C, 2D, no E, and 2 in the F tier. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. MLB stadiums tiers. We got NFL coming up next, and then we got NBA, and then the NHL will be the last one, and they'll all be on my own, unless Brian changes his mind or not, but probably not. But until next time, guys, see you guys later.